Hello everybody, and welcome back to our video series about The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson Musical. Today, I am with Lindsay Miller, who is the music director of this production at Playhouse Square. Thank you so much for being here, Lindsay.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to ask you, this show is your music direction debut. So how does it feel to be taking on this project?
It's very exciting. I mean, it definitely is a lot different than what I've done before. I've been lucky enough throughout the pandemic to be able to work on some digital productions, and I even got to music direct a 15-minute musical with the Beck Center's 5x15 shows. So I was involved with Monster on the Lawn, and that was a great experience, but this is really my first time fully music directing like a full show on this full scale and in person, and just all the things that we missed with the pandemic. So I'm very excited and very looking forward to working with Chris as well, since he's also making his debut. So it's been very fun so far.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about the music in this show. Like, what about it excites you?
One of the things that excites me about this music is that it's still musical theater, but it feels almost like in its own different realm. I mean, you have some of the aspects of musical theater where it pulls from many different styles. Like when I look through the score, for example, there's some tunes that it's like a la Smashing Pumpkins or like heavy hair metal and things like that, where you're pulling from some styles that people may be familiarized with that are going to be watching the show. But at the same time, the music really centers on the emotions that the characters are feeling, and especially the demigods. I mean, how they're these teenagers that don't really like fully maybe understand what they're going through, or they're just still figuring out themselves and figuring out where their place is in the world, which is how unique their situations are. So through that music, there's a lot of fun chances for them to just like rock out and get to just be raw with the music and not have to make everything like super perfect, polished, neat. We're really going for a great vibe of just like almost like you're just rocking out in your garage, you know, you're just starting a band and you're just making all this music, and it's not so much just about like maybe with some sort of like classical music where that's its own different style, but really just focusing on what these Half-Bloods are wanting to say about themselves through music.
We were talking to Chris about how this production is a bit grittier than the Broadway version that was originally done. Is that in the music as well, that sort of grittiness?
Yes, I would agree with that, because with the music, although it is very more on the rock style of music, it could still be more of like an NT sort of rock, and you can make it more like bubblegum pop, of bubblegum rock in a way, or you can do what we're doing, and we're really just focusing on the actors themselves and what stories they're going to be bringing to the music, as opposed to trying to keep it like the cleanest rock as possible. I mean, we want to make sure that we're able to tell these stories through the music, and some of those things, like with the text, I mean, there is a lot of grit in the words that they're saying, and why not have that be shown in the music as well?
Yeah, very true, very true. So you are the first graduate of the musical theater music direction program here at Baldwin Wallace, which was created during your time. Now, initially you were piano performance when you started. Can you tell me a bit about that journey, how you got from there to here?
Yeah, so when I was looking at universities, because I mean, I'm originally from Wisconsin, so I'm not even like an Ohioan type person that would know Baldwin Wallace initially from like my high school experience. So I was looking around at different schools that had really well-known musical theater programs, or ones that just really were being very accomplished or having some great success with their alumni, and Baldwin Wallace was one of the ones that came up. So I just was researching on that end, not really realizing that music direction could be a thing that I could study. So as I was touring around and I came to BW, they mentioned this degree that was going to be a possibility. And there's even been some people like Ryan Fielding Garrett or Alyssa K. Thompson that have come through BW, not as this degree, but been very like, their track was music direction. So they kind of created their own class schedule around the degrees that they were also pursuing. So then having this degree being created, it really allows there to be a full program of music direction. So when I came to school here, the program wasn't fully formed, so I came in as piano performance. Since I'm growing up, I was primarily a pianist and a classical pianist, and discovered musical theater and saw that as more of what I wanted to make my career out of. And then after a semester of piano performance and getting to work on cabaret my freshman year, I was able to transition into the music direction program and be sort of the guinea pig for the program to see like what's working, what's not working. So then now that we have people coming up below me, and we have 4 other students in the program now, which is crazy to think that I was the only one for a while and now we got all these people. It's just really great to see the program grow and be able to be the one to lead this new degree.
Yeah, certainly. So for someone watching at home who might be interested in coming into this program, what are some of the chops that you need to be a music director?
Piano chops are a must, especially because a lot of the big shows that are on Broadway or touring and things like that, they're pulling from a lot of different kinds of pop and rock styles, such as the music in The Lightning Thief. So with that music, a lot of that music for the conductor is also piano conducted. So not only do you have to be leading the band that you're conducting, but you also need to be playing piano. So you need to be able to play as many different styles as possible. You need to be listening to as many different styles of music as well. So if you're in a room and someone says, play this like Lady Gaga, like you know what that means and you know how to do that. So piano chops are a must. And sight reading is a big thing too. And with the piano, I mean, just knowing how singing works. I mean, even if you're not necessarily a singer yourself, being able to know just how that technically works and being able to talk to a singer for how they can best sing the music that they're singing for a musical or just solo performance, that is also a big thing to be able to do.
What professional goals are there for you in music direction when you graduate?
So right away after graduation is a little bit TBD at the moment. I'm figuring out a couple final things that might be in the works for the next couple years or so. But eventually I would love to get myself to New York City, and I would love to not only work in New York and hopefully get to do some off-Broadway and Broadway shows, but I also would love to tour at some point. I remember growing up in Milwaukee and we would get a lot of touring shows, and I always loved watching those. So I would love to have it come full circle and be able to play some touring shows there. Yeah.
And I'm asking everyone this to close out, but what is your favorite part of the show?
Ooh, favorite part of the show? It might have to be when we have a talking squirrel. There's a little moment, we have this little squirrel, and we get to have a little conversation with the squirrel, and that one is very cute. If I had to pick a musical moment, though, because that's technically not musical, I do right now love the song, our finale, Bring On the Monsters, just because it also almost feels full circle of their leaving camp, and it just reminds me of graduating soon, and it just feels like it's ready to take the next step in the next chapter in life.
Well, that is a great note to end on. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah.